scientist at University of Roorkee and has experience of over 24 years. He has a wide teaching and research experience, and till now he has published 67 journal papers in reputed international journals like IEEE, IETE, Elsevier, and many more, and presented 58 papers in various conferences. Due to his hard work and wisdom, his overall H index rating of 36 and I-10 index rating of 178 is possible. He has a total of 8,521 citations. His area of research is wide and include power electronic and drive, power electronic converter, renewable energy system, variable speed generator. Under his valuable supervision, 12 students have completed their doctoral degree and many have completed their master's degree. Consultancy and research project handled by Professor S.P. Singh are 29. Adding to this, he has organized 17 conferences. Further, he is an honorary member of IEEE, a member of IEEE, a lifetime member of IAQR, and many more. There are many achievements of Professor S.P. Singh, but since we have a crunch of time, so I would like to call upon Professor S.P. Singh sir to disseminate his knowledge to the participants. Professor S.P. Singh sir.
Good morning to everyone.
Morning sir.
As such, may I know how many of you are, say, from mechanical engineering branch? Is there anybody from the mechanical or electrical engineering branch?
Sir, I
Around
guess mostly.
हाँ
Yes sir,
धनंजय
Chauhan
आप
sir, go
बताओ
on.
हाँ
नहीं सर, आप बताइए,
धनंजय
आप
you
बताइए.
initiate
Sir, mostly they are from electrical.
Mostly they are from, okay. Some are from, say, from mechanical or civil engineering discipline also.
so yes
Okay,
mechanical faculty members are also there and civil faculty members are also there.
they are also there. So
Yeah,
as such,
apart from the computer IT
okay, as such,
background
so
faculty.
okay. So let me give you the general information. Say hydropower generation or any power generation, and this is regarding an overview of the technical issues in small hydropower development. Not only not the hydropower development, general issues, say uh, as such, how we categorize the hydropower stations depending upon the capacity, large, medium, small, mini, micro, and very small pico time of the portable sets and up to 5 kilowatt. So let me know, not go into details and how we classify, and they uh, and here you can see the general layout of a power plant. They as such they are the different component of a power plant. So here you can see the there is a four-way, and as such this is the reverse, and here the desilting basin. So here the area of the basin is large and try to desilt the sand in the water over here again. So this becomes your intake channel, and then the four-way, and there is penstock, and their powerhouse turbine generators are placed, and again the load is connected. So as such, there are many issues when we are, say, operating or when we are installing the hydropower plant. So we have to correlate the dimension of the mechanical or the civil engineering components with the electrical with the electrical equipment like generators and generators, turbine, and all that. And okay, so okay. So let me say start with a little bit about the turbine. So what kind of turbines are there? Normally Pelton turbo and turbo type turbines are there, and the the main issue is uh, how to select the turbine, how to select the turbine. And the as such the basic criteria is the specific speed. So first of all, we have to, for a given head and flow, we have to calculate the specific speed, and depending upon the specific speed we decide what kind of the turbine we are going to select. So here you can see higher the specific speed. So the people from the mechanical engineering people may appreciate. Mechanical engineering division discipline, they can appreciate what they mean by the specific speed and how does it matter. So the basic criteria is the specific speed, and larger the specific speed, smaller the size of the machine, smaller of the size of the machine, and the cost will decrease. And suppose the specific speed becomes large, so there are certain disadvantages, because the runner with the higher specific speed are more prone to the cavitation, and the machines, hydraulic machines particularly, and their part load efficiency, this is important. Part load efficiency decreases with the increases in the speed. That is the big issue. The efficiency is important. So as such, we can never, we should not say ignore the efficiency. What happens, even have a look at a electrical equipment, the part load efficiency is not the same as the full load efficiency. So the part load efficiency is always a problem. When we are dealing with when the same machine is working as a motor or a generator, part load efficiency is always a problem. So as such, what is the purpose of designing a drive? So the purpose of the designing a drive is we have to say maximize the efficiency at any load or at every load. So that is why we modulate voltage and the frequency of the drive. So as the efficiency is maximized, torque is maximized, like that. Likewise, so let me come back to the again, say how we are going to select a turbine. So the basic issue is, so depending upon the head. So let me take an example of a site which is having the capacity of 100 kilowatt, head is 38 meter, and let me choose the say speed of the rotor, and the speed number and the synchronous speed, and then as such, this is the specific speed, and say from the application chart provided by the manufacturers of the turbine. So this so let me say pick up a generator of 1500 RPM having 4 poles. Okay, so this may be one of the option. This may be one of the option. Okay, and say and this is the medium head site, and let me have a look at the higher head site. Here the head is high, say 186 meters, and the specific speed comes out to be 57.3, and suppose I select a speed 1500 RPM, so the number of poles would be number of poles of a machine, synchronous machine or any machines, maybe 4 pole. So this is acceptable. This is acceptable, no problem. As such, the problem comes when the head becomes very low. So let me take an example of the third case. So here the head is very low Just see, so head is only 1.9 meter or 2 meter, and the discharge was too large, so discharge data is not given here. So this is the case of example of the canal fall. In case of the canal fall, head is very high, head is very low, and flow is very high, and and the power rating may be say 100 kilowatt. So in that case, okay. So as such, suppose I select the speed of 200 rpm, 200 rpm, and for that range, for that range, uh, uh, for that particular speed, specific speed range, you may get a turbine like a like a you may get a turbine. So the problem is, again the number of posts, just see, the number of posts are very high. So here is the problem. Suppose, the 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 size is 100 kilowatt, and the turbine available with the given specific speed range, and speed comes out to be 200 rpm. So the number of poles, number of poles, say 200 or 100 200 for 100 rpm. The say for 100 rpm, the number of poles would be 60, 60 for getting the 50 hertz frequency, and say for 200 maybe 30. As such, such machines are not available in the market. So that is why during the 80s, so as such, this is the example of the demo project, which was commissioned, say initiated in 1980. So at that point of the time, so the variable speed generators were not there. So they, as such, and the generator was supposed to feed the power to the grid. So the only option available was to use the gearbox. Say, suppose I increase the speed of the turbine and match the speed of the turbine, that of the grid frequency. So there is no other option. As a mechanical engineer, I can think of, so let me put an put gearbox, a gearbox between turbine and generator, and increase the speed. Okay, and to get the desired frequency, so as of now, in some cases, even in case of the wind energy applications, the gearbox are in use. Again, there was the limitation of the gearbox. So at that point of the time, in 80s, so the gearbox of the ratio 1:2 of the speed ratio 1:6. Suppose I want to increase the speed by 6 times, and the capacity of the gear power of the gear box power was say 100 kilowatt. So these devices, the gearbox were not available in the India. So the people has to, or somebody has to import this gearbox. Otherwise, these were not available. Okay. So as such, that is why, so that is why we think of variable speed generators. Why the variable speed generators are required, is necessary, because we want to get rid of the gearbox. So as such, say at the lower speed, you can generate the voltage and the frequency, variable voltage and the variable frequency, and with the suitable converter, you can get the desired voltage and the desired frequency. Okay, so here I will discuss, say only the small hydro stations. So this is the physical layout. You can see, this is the physical layout of a small power stations. So you can see there is a headrest channel, and there is surge tank, and then penstock, and this may be the flywheel, and this is coupled with the generators, and with the generators, and as such they are connected to the common shaft. So here again you can have a governor or the load control. So purpose of the governor or the load control is just to control the voltage and the frequency. Either governor or this is a dynamic load. Okay, sorry, this is the consumer load. This keeps on varying. So as the consumer load varies, so we have to adjust the speed of the turbine to get the constant frequency. And say in big power stations, we want to we normally we have the level control. So with the level control, so we get the desired speed as well as the power. So what happens in small power stations? Normally, in some cases, the level control is not there. When the level control is not there, what will happen? With the increase in the load, we keep on increasing the input. A situation will come, so here the level will drop. When the level will drop, and when the level will drop, the speed of the turbine will drop. So it cannot be maintained constant. It cannot be maintained constant. A case may there may be a case, so this level may will be down, and further, so under this very dynamic conditions, even the governor and the load controller may not work. Or with the governor, as such, you have to adjust the input so as the level remain constant and the power remains again the constant. As such, for a standalone operation, we have to uh, match the input power and the output power. So these are the basic concepts we have to keep in mind while operating any power station. Here is a general layout of a induction generator. Or this is just a monitoring control and the protection equipment one can have. Again, generators and the other switches and the relays and all that, and so turbine gate, emergency shutdown, water level control, speed. Okay, and these are the control, say as such, the control and the protection relays that may be provided. And say for a small power station, very small, 5 or 10 kilowatt. So these devices may not be required. Okay, so these are the monitoring equipment and the voltage and frequency meters and all that, and these are the grid protection equipment, and here the generator protection, and these are the equipment related to the turbine control and protection. So that way, we have to provide the control protection, say for mechanical equipment, electrical equipment, and say for grid also. And this is all monitoring. Okay, so here, so as such, the people are working, say for the standalone operation of the synchronous machine or the stand or induction machine. So a lot of work has been done. So many people have been working. Now I think standalone, hardly some people are working in this area. So let me compare the operation of synchronous generator and induction generator. And induction generator as such, for a closed loop control, and we want to control the voltage or the frequency, What we do is, say we open the input gate to the machine, induction machine, and we run the machine at a rated speed, and as such connect the suitable capacitors and 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 the ballast load, or the auxiliary load is over there. So as such, we control this load by by chopper or by with the PWM control. So initially, what we do is we open the gate, and whatever power is there, open the gate. Whatever power is there, we dump all the power to the this load as such. Okay, when when the balance between input and output is achieved, okay, so then we switch over to this the consumer load. Okay, what will happen when the consumer load as such when we connect a consumer load, so say consumer load, then the total load on the system will increase. There may be slight drop in the voltage and have a feedback from the uh, feedback as a voltage from the terminal, and set the reference value and the feedback and, and the feedback so we will decide the switching period of the switching the on period of a chopper or of a switch. So the so the may as such the I will explain little later. So as such here we can have a comparison. We can have a comparison of the synchronous machine and the induction machine. In case of the induction machines, so the voltage and the frequency, they are interrelated. So with the voltage control we can control the with only the voltage control we can control the voltage and the frequency, whereas in case of the synchronous generator, so the frequency the frequency is a function of the speed. So that is the basic difference between the voltage between induction generator and the synchronous generator. For closed loop control, so induction generator needs the voltage feedback, and synchronous machine frequency feedback, and depending upon that, we decide the width of the on period of the switch. Okay, so this is another clear. Different possibilities are there. Say we can have an analog, circuit, or the uh, say uh, digital circuit. We can have a DSP, or even nowadays microcontrollers are available. With the microcontroller, you can control the pulse width of this load. Pulse width voltage across the load. So as such, the when we use the analog controller, the situation is a little bit different. So here, this is time consuming as well as the various the, the PCBs are required for the different component, and okay, and if there is some failure, so as such the finding the fault is very difficult, time consuming. So the simplest way, either we can use digital circuits like any microcontroller or anything else. So here the as such now I think many of you must be knowing how to control the voltage and the frequency. So this is the example of the example of induction machine, how we control the voltage and the frequency. So as such here, though I have given some logic how to control how to decide the pulse width so as such what is there in it. So as such while say operating a system, we have to say open this input and load as such. as such an make an say we are using a system and we have connected and we have connect what we have done. So as such an we are having simply rectified from this terminal voltage. We rectify this voltage and whatever voltage is available, so we dump the voltage across this resistance. So the as such the value of the resistance must be based on the input power. Okay. So as such so the duty ratio as such we have to decide the duty ratio from this control circuit. So the duty ratio is say 1 when the entire load is consumed by the load. So initially there is no main load. When you connect the main load, so that way we have to regulate the pulse width of the switch, and this will decrease as the load increases, and as when the load becomes the consumer load becomes the same as the input power, so the pulse width is 0. It means that the circuit is open. Okay, so that is how one can control the voltage and the frequency. Since in case of the induction generator, different possibilities are there. Single phase as a single phase generator, three phase machine as a three phase generator, standalone generator, uh, three phase as a three phase generator, and so the only difference between a synchronous and induction machine is so here we have the voltage feedback. In case of the synchronous machine, we have to have a speed feedback. With the speed feedback, we can we can control the voltage and the frequency of a of a of a generator, standalone generator. So again, this is the case for three phase three phase induction machine as a self-excited induction generator with load controller. Okay, so the only difference is okay. So we are having three phase inverter, three phase rectifier, three phase rectifier, and this is and we did use this DSP chip, and with this DSP chip we did control the pulse width, okay, pulse width across this load. So by controlling the pulse width across the load, the fixed resistance can be converted into the variable resistance. So this is the main concept, this is the basic concept. So otherwise the resistance is constant, and suppose this is connected across the voltage source. So by controlling the pulse width, this can be made variable resistance. Okay. So as such, when the duty ratio is when the duty ratio is 1, when the duty ratio is when the duty ratio is when the duty ratio is 0, it means this is open. This is open. There is no resistance, and when the duty ratio is 1, so this resistance is this resistance maximum. That's how you can vary the resistance, say from minimum to maximum. And as such, the same concept can be used for the uh, induction machine for the speed control by making the resistance. Okay. And this was the case for here we are having three phase control level. Induction, again the induction generator, and three-phase rectifier, and again as such this is three DC controllable load, DC controllable load, and such so the problem with this this kind of the load is that so the random harmonics are generated due to the asymmetrical control is the problem, and because of this the terminal voltage distorted. The another option could be the better option maybe we can control we can control just this. Okay, again this is C and 2C combination where we control as such three-phase machine as a single phase three-phase machine. Here we are controlling a three-phase machine as a single phase. Three-phase machine as a single phase. So three-phase machine are there. From there, we can control. We can have a single phase supply from the three-phase machine, and as such say we have to select the this scheme known as C and 2C scheme. So this capacitor is 2 times. This capacitor must be 2 times of this capacitor. So the limitation of this this scheme is you can get the maximum output 60%, not 50%. 50%. 50% of the rated capacity of the three-phase machine, and moreover the power factor is limited say up to there is a limitation of the power factor of the machine up to 0.6 okay, this is the limitation. This is the one of the example. So people as such this is already available in the literature. We did develop this scheme. So as of now, we don't know how many people are using such schemes. So as okay, so as such in this case, the balance operation of the machine can be achieved by having C and 2C combination. So you can have a balance current in all three windings, and beyond, suppose you overload that machine beyond the 50% rating of this machine, so the balance cannot be maintained. Balance condition cannot be maintained. So that is these are the limitations of such machines. And as such okay, so here again I tell you so there are certain cases when the equipment is available of three-phase and the single phase supply is available. Now question comes how to operate a three-phase machine on a single phase supply. Okay, and again there are limitations to operate the three-phase machine on a single phase supply. बाद में बात करें okay, so here we are using three-phase machine as a single phase generator with the load controller so these are the limitations. So okay, so again suppose say use this machine, delta connected machine, uh, in a small hydropower station. So this is scheme, they work. Okay, so this can work. What will happen? Suppose there is a decrease in the input, there is a decrease in the flow. So the output of this machine will decrease. Okay, and as such, you may not be able to get the desired voltage or the desired power. So in that case, during the lean period, in that case, what can be done is, so we can such alternate the connections of this machine. So the delta connected machine can be connected into the star, and as such, in case of the star, uh, the current may decrease, current will decrease, by root 3 times, and because of this, so when there is a decrease in the input, so we have to ensure that the phase current, do not increase the rated currents. So that is why its operation in star is limited to 0.5 to 0.80% derating of the machine. What I mean to say, suppose I want to derate the machine at a lower output, so I can reconnect it to star, hmm, reconnect to star, just to get the better efficiency. Otherwise, at a derated capacity, you will not get the better efficiency. Hmm. So during the lean period, when the flow is less, and the uh, and you can reconnect, into that star, and in such a way that the phase current do not exceed the full load current, and this range is operation is only possible 0.5, 0.62 or zero point 0.5 to 80% loading of the machine. So that is how you can increase the efficiency of this operation. And there is another scheme, and the chopper kind of FEIG पे देना ETRC AC chopper control as such, so here the scheme remains same. Capacitor are connected with the consumer load. So as such, here, we don't have the rectifier. Just, we did have the rectifier for single phase, and this was for the three phase. And again, for the three phase machine, there is no rectifier as such, so we are independently controlling the voltage across the each phase. So that different, ABC three phases are there, and three as such, three resistances are there. So as such, this switch control the voltage over a positive half, and this control the voltage for the negative half. Positive half, negative half. So as such, for each, say for each phase, for each phase, the voltage is being controlled over the positive half cycle and the negative half cycle. So the basic advantage, with this control scheme is that, so the odd harmonics, so they will appear as a sideband and integral multiple of the switching frequency. And so depending upon switching frequency, the lower order harmonics can be eliminated. Okay. Again, this is the same scheme, and I have already discussed, the C and 2C. There is a C to the capacitor. C is connected in parallel with the load, and C in leading phase, and in other phase, and 2C is connected. At balance condition in each winding can be maintained when the load resistance and the cap and the machine power factor for machine power factor 0.5. This is the operating condition, and the capacitance is the function of the load. Okay, so depending upon the load resistance scheme, depending upon the load resistance, you can calculate the capacitance with root 3 times, and the maximum output is 50% of the machine kVA rating. So the P is kVA rating by 2. So that is our this is the limitations. These are the limitations of this scheme. Otherwise, for 50% loading, so 3-phase machine can work as a single phase generator. Okay, and suppose we have a look. Suppose we have an overlook, say for all kind of these machines are available. So this is the simplest case. Delta connected windings were, and there was only one capacitor connected across this capacitors, across this phase, and this is a load. The another the same, this is called Siemens connections. So as such, there is no capacitor, only one capacitor is connected across the lag winding. So this is the third case. Here the capacitor connected across this winding. Only so here you can see the comparison between these two connections. So the connections are more or less same. The connections are more or less same. Only in one case, the capacitor is connected over E phase. In this case, connection second, the capacitor connected across the C phase. That is the only basic difference. Otherwise, so this is known as the connection number 1, and this is the connection number 2. Okay, and this is a different connection. This is a different connection. Single phase operation is possible by this connections. So here, these connections are important from the rotation or the direction of the rotation of the rotor. And here you can see the next slide, and you can see the comparative performance of these connections. So this is single phase mode. This is single phase mode. In case of single phase mode, a capacitor is a suitable capacitor is connected. Okay, so connected across this load. So the value of the capacitor, the value of this capacitance can be calculated from the analysis, and say from the writing the equations for the each and the sequence voltage and the current for each and every phase, and for the and making the zero current positive, negative, and a zero sequence current. Okay, so write the sequence voltage in the current for the circuit, and make the zero sequence component is equal to 0. So for that, for a given load, one can calculate the capacitance, and so for the balance operation, and suppose I want to maintain the balance operation, balance current in each winding. So this is the limitation. This is the limitation of the circuit in a single phasing mode. The capacitor is connected in parallel. Capacitor is connected in parallel with this load, and the power delivery is 30% of the rating. 30% of the rated power of this machine. So please keep in mind, whenever you are using a three-phase, even in a three-phase machine on a single-phase supply, three-phase machine on a single-phase supply, so you will never get the same power as of the three-phase with a single, as of three-phase with a single-phase supply. So please make sure that select the suitable capacitors in a such a way the current in the either phase do not exceed the do not exceed the rated do not exceed the rated current. Okay, so only in a say for balance condition you can get only 30% of the rated power. Efficiency is poor, and phase balance in this case is not possible. And here you can see this connection. Okay, so just see here the capacitor is connected in the lagging phase. Lagging phase. Okay, lagging phase, and the power delivered would be 60%. With with low negative sequence voltage. Here 30%, 60%. Here the efficiency is high. Perfect phase balance is possible. In this case, it is not possible. With this case, perfect phase balance is possible. And there is a limitation. The power delivery cannot be more than 60%. And the second connections, this connection. So here the capacitor is connected in the leading phase. Leading phase. Efficiency, okay. So you will not get the same power. You will not get the same power. Okay. And suppose you are not getting the desired power, what you can do is you simply change the direction of the rotation. You may get the power, or change the position. Change the position of this. Okay, so this circuit can be converted into the first one by changing the direction of rotation. Okay. Again, in this case, one can get the perfect phase balance. And as such, here you can see this is another kind of the connections for star connected machines. Again, the limitation of the star connection machine is you will never get the output power more than the 30% of the rated power of the machine. You will get only 30% of the rated power when this machine is working as a single phase. As of now, without any control, by using the capacitor only, I have not seen any example where the star machine can give the power more than the rated. Star connected machine more than the 30%. Whereas it is possible in case of the delta machine. Okay, so this is the different connections, and this is known as the Smith connections. So this connections was say developed by the Professor Smith. And here you can see they are the three windings, and they are three windings: A phase winding, B phase winding, and C phase winding. Okay, and they are the three capacitors: C1, C2, and C3. Okay, and they are connected to the single phase. Okay, so the so as such for balance condition, the as C1, C2, and C3 can be calculated, and say the Smith connection says that the C3 is equal to 2C2. So this will come out, so as such, these are the basic steps are given, how to the analysis, complete analysis is given in the paper, and how to calculate the value of C1 and C2 and C3 and all that, so that way, one can, and as such, this connections can be used for the higher power rating, say up to 50 kilowatt, 100 kilowatt rating, that is possible. And here you can see the limitation of the power factor, input power factor angle with the motor impedance angle under the balance condition. Here you can see 30-degree, and it say motor impedance angle is more than this one, this becomes an leading. So I will not go into detail, and so this is another slide, say regarding the application of the even in a three-phase machine or single-phase machine. Even if you increase efficiency by 1%, a lot of power can be saved. So there is a problem. So unbalanced voltage between the phases due to the single phasing, and the unbalancing of the load on the different phase lead to the underutilization of the transformer capacity. So this is the typical pattern of the conjunction, not this is the very old data, but even as of now, a lot of induction machines are in use. So one can think of how to improve the efficiency of the induction machines, and and make its operation under balance condition. Okay. So this will this scheme I will say. Okay. Again, this is a torque slip characteristic of a wound root induction machine. So here, this is the torque speed characteristic. If I connect a external resistance in the rotor, and as such, so by changing the resistance, by increasing the resistance, say this more external resistance, and this is REXE3, this is greater than REXE2 external and REXE1. Okay, so by okay, so by increasing the resistance, you can change the torque speed characteristic, of a wound root induction generator. So as such, here you can understand how we can use wound rotor induction, slip ring induction machine as a motor as a generator. So the same scheme just the stator, as such the capacitors are connected and the load on the stator side, and this is again control scheme to generate the variable pulses, and here you can see the rotor circuit. So this scheme is another, the limitation of this scheme is we can generate the power, generate the power from the induction machine beyond the synchronous speed. Okay, and again below the synchronous speed it is not possible to control the voltage and frequency with this scheme. So this scheme is capable to control the voltage and the frequency uh, during the speed and over for the speed range beyond the synchronous speed. Okay, so as such, for say what should be the speed range beyond the synchronous speed, so that will be decided by the the rating of the rating of the the rotor as well as the load resistance. Okay, suppose you increase the value of the load resistance, you can you can you can increase the operating speed of the generator. So as such, here we have given the result, say for constant voltage and the constant, for getting the constant voltage and constant frequency of a of a wound rotor induction wound rotor self-excited induction generator in a standalone mode, and basic the concept remains more or less same or in a different way. And as such, when we are operating the machine, say at a rated speed, so with the suitable capacitors and all, we can we can get the rated voltage. Okay, so under that condition, at a synchronous speed, so there is no voltage induced in the rotor winding. Okay, and this resistance is not there, or say small voltage will be there, this resistance is not there as such, this resistance is not there, and the duty ratio of the switch may be say 1. This is connected, and this is short circuited. When there is increase in the speed, so the duty ratio will decrease and the voltage across the resistance will increase as the speed increases, and the power, say the slip power will be dissipated in the circuit. So here, say for future, one can think of, say suppose we are using say any kind of the variable speed turbine, variable speed generators, say driven from the either wind turbine and the hydro turbine. So one can think of, we must be able to replace this for say for any circuit, which is capable to store the energy when the load is not available. So let us store the energy in the circuit in the same way. So here one can think of suppose the load is not available, so one must be able to store the energy by using inverters or any kind of inverters, maybe differential. Nowadays, people are think of a differential inverter. So with the differential inverter, what may be there? What is the possibility when the load is too high? So when the load is too much, okay, and the rated then the input power from this input from the input side, or during the lean period input is less. So in that case, so here one can think of inverter, single phase inverter, or the VSI, or differential run-up, differential boost inverter. So the purpose of the differential boost inverter is just to control the it can say step up and step up down the voltage, say either again it may be able to control. People are say working in this direction. People must be able to control the power either from battery to say load, or say from generator to battery. Both both way it's possible. So one has to think of, or say in for future, okay, one has to think of how we can say, suppose load is not there, we must be able to store, we must be able to store the energy in battery, or say any other devices. So this is for the future applications. Or similarly, just so this is the control scheme, and we have tried and we have simulated, and here you can see when there is change in the speed, the terminal voltage remains constant, frequency can be maintained, and just see the external resistance. Okay, suppose there is a increase in the speed, so the duty cycle will increase, the resistance will increase, that is how the resistance will, okay, increasing. So as such, we are getting the same result. We are getting the same result, as we are as we are controlling the switch. Okay, increase in the speed, increase in the external resistance. We are dissipating all the power. So terminal voltage, stator terminal voltage, and the frequency remain constant, and here you can see the rotor variations, speed variations, and that is the duty cycle and how the duty cycle is changing, and terminal voltage and the stator frequency is constant, and just see the rotor speed. As the speed increases, so the rotor voltage, rotor voltage will increase. Okay, rotor voltage will increase, and as such, when the rotor voltage is increasing, we have to dissipate that power with increasing speed. So the power is dissipated so as so the input and the balance between input and output is maintained, and the voltage and frequency remains constant. Okay, so one can think of say how one can the simplest scheme one can it can be tried in the lab. Otherwise, say verification of the DFI rates of the DFIG, and they become very the time difficult, take long time to develop such system. Again, that the one can use the DFIG when you want to control the speed below and of the synchronous speed. So a lot of schemes are available for harness the power, say right from say below the synchronous speed, say 30% of below the synchronous speed, beyond the synchronous speed. Okay, and this is another kind of the Z source inverter. So one can think of a Z source inverter, and for the wide uh, purpose of the Z source inverter is to control the output voltage and the frequency for variation in the speed beyond and above the synchronous speed. And as such, so I'm not going to discuss its operation in detail. Only I will give you the idea na how the system works na. As such na how we were able to simulate or the operate the operation of induction generator using Z source. So here you can see the power rating, frequency, and again parameters of the machine. And again in this table, so you can see the operation. So the operation of the machine is important. Suppose if I connect if I connect a load which is equivalent to the rated capacity of the machine. So with the Z source inverter, so the this is the speed range for which it can work. And suppose I cut down the load, say up to 90%. So then there is a change in the speed, operating speed range. So there is a so this is a 30% and 33% of the rated speed, and this is a speed regulation. Say for 100% and for 100%, the operating speed range is 2200 to 1310, where the rated speed is say rated speed. So as such, this speed range is 40%, 46% above the rated speed, and 30% below the rated speed. And if the percentage load is 90%, so this becomes the speed range. So there is a increase in the speed, below the synchronous speed, below the synchronous speed, 80%. Again, there is an increase in the speed below the synchronous speed, 70% of the load. Increase in the speed below the second, 60% of the load. Again, here the speed range keep on increasing. Suppose here you can note, you can see this data. Suppose the speed range as increases increases beyond the, or I must say the road speed decreases below the synchronous speed. So in that case you have to cut down the load. Beyond this load, a given the system may not be able to sustain the desired voltage and the desired frequency. So that is the idea. That by the idea. As of now, I have not seen any say practical scheme which may be working like this. So one can think of say the operation of the standalone generator using induction machine. Okay, so I think so let me say finish this lecture, and please let me know, or say so any question or any clarification, please.
Now, the platform is open for the queries. If you have any, please feel free to ask.
The participant can write their questions in the chat box. Dhananjay,
I
if there
hope,
is no question, you please propose the vote of the thanks to the sir.
yes, sir, yes, sir. NIT Sultanpur family expresses their gratitude for such an informative session, majorly on how to extract power from induction generator. And we are also thankful for you for discussing the scope of research in the field of induction generator, how induction generator can be used to extract power from wind energy. With this, I hope that this session is highly beneficial for the viewers. We are highly obliged to you, sir, for sharing your valuable time. We hope to see you again for such expert lectures. Once again, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Let me take a leave.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Welcome. Thank you. Welcome.
Sir, you have done a very marvelous job in the induction generator. You have proposed a lot of the schemes, and I think the participants who are planning to work on induction generator, that will be very much beneficial for your.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Dhananjay, announce for the lunch, and then after the next section, it
Mhm.
will be
Yes, sir.
starting
Yes, sir.
from 2:30.
Yes, sir. So the next session will start from 2:30 p.m. Okay, and the link for the attendance is now active. You can go